everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. And today is Friday, so you know what that means. Grab something red, wear something red, but most of all, RED. Remember everyone deployed. Thank you to all our servicemen and women, and of course, their wonderful families that serve alongside them and keep us all safe. We are grateful for you. It's going to be an icy weekend, apparently. You guys, we're going to have a bunch of interesting little posts and columns about that. We'll let you know what we think about all of that. But most of all, stay safe and warm and stay home, everyone. Stay off the roads. We'll be right back with Westwood right after this. Cheers. It's happy hour. The storm is upon us, Westwood. What do you think of this? Are you guys getting snow there already?
No, it's cold though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see somebody say, like, what in the world? They're talking about this big storm, and then there's barely any little blips on the Doppler, but the temperatures are dropping quite a bit.
Yes, they are.
But not a lot of precip in the air. But they've been spraying like crazy. Tim Burchett is pissed off, which is great to see.
Yeah, he is funny. What's he? Is he from Tennessee?
Is it Tennessee or the Carolinas? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. He's got Southern sympathies. I'm not sure.
Yeah. He's wherever Sean Ryan is, I think, because he and Sean Ryan go back and forth. They banter on X or Twitter quite a bit. And big shout out to Avos 1973. That's our buddy Data Bunker from back in the day.
I remember.
Yeah, we were just on Rice's channel, and I saw him in the chat. Super sweet for him to jump over here and give us a super chat and
nice.
Join the community again. So
absolutely
have him in the chat.
We're putting the band back together.
I know.
Mission from God.
That's what it feels like.
Yep.
You know, this was one of the things that we talked about a long time ago. This is the strength of community. And I saw a quick blurb where CZ is saying, like, we're about to go into a crypto super cycle. Mm-hmm. And this is the time when community is so important, because I said this, you know, you'll remember when you'll go back, and if you've been in crypto for a long time, you'll see people come in and out. But you'll also watch and you'll go back to the ones that have been here for a long time. People like Cliff High, like Bix, like you, Blood, Rice, Mom, of course, you know, the people that have been here for the community. I would even say like Cryptos R Us. I don't know, some of like the OG that are they're not here. They're here for the community to share information, and they're just here, you know, and they've been here kind of as constants. And that's what I love about kind of watching people. And we've watched some people start kind of popping back in.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of be careful, but you also, it's kind of nice to see some of the faces again. So.
Economic Samurai. Oh, wait, that's not.
Oh, that's been interesting, man. That one. So I did not know about that history. I have my own kind of stories with that, but I don't necessarily have bad blood. I just had a weird experience one time with him, but I don't necessarily have bad blood. But that I didn't know about that. I can't remember the name of that company that he had that guy on.
It wasn't coffee. It was
Turnkey or something like that.
Wasn't coffee. It was
tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was the ticker.
Okay. Well, I don't know. So I thought that was interesting that OG John AG specifically targeted Ninja. But then I wondered, Ninja has multiple YouTube channels. This is just purely speculation. And there is this thing that, so my daughter streams and she started it as a business now. I don't make any money off of YouTube. I mean, like, I think one time, a long time ago, I made a couple $100 one year off of it somehow.
I haven't made anything. The only thing I get is love out of YouTube.
Yeah.
That's all I get.
Yeah. But my daughter does pretty good on it because she does on TikTok and some other things, and through gaming. It's totally different than, like, I share information and I build community because I love community, and this is like my passion to share this, and I love our community. And then I'm able to, like, share my passion about nonprofit work and do other things with that. So this is totally different. But and I appreciate any donations, and please join my Patreon, and that's where I do get to make some money. So,
$5 a month, right?
I did just reopen my $5 tier.
There you go. No excuses. $5 for all this content.
If you'd like to support my channel, please do that. I would be forever grateful. However, that was not my point. But I was wondering, would it not be the most incredible thing if it was actually Ninja putting that out? There's actually more, like, people love to hate more than they love to love. I hate to say it, but that is just the reality of the world right now.
Yeah. All news is good news.
Yeah. They have this it's not called hate posting, but it's called, like,
rage posting or
rage
baiting. Rage baiting.
Is that it? Rage baiting?
Rage baiting. Something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. We're so old. We don't even know what it's called. We're so not cool anymore. Not that we ever were. But my point is, it makes me wonder because, he has, like, Ninja real estate, Ninja crypto, Ninja. Now he's doing some Ninja tax thing. I don't know. He's doing all these ninjas because he gets paid for YouTubing.
Yeah. Right.
And then the guy was saying he actually gets paid for, and he did the math on it. It was insane what he gets paid for selling those crypto or those courses or whatever.
Yeah. I
was like, holy shit, how can I teach somebody how to do something? But I can teach you how to thrift and resell.
There you go.
On eBay and Etsy. I'm really good at it.
Side hustle.
But you have to come with me. Okay. So anyway, so then I'm like, oh, what if this is like a rage post on himself? Because I can't tell you how many people said, because he said, oh, now he is saying that I am the Antichrist. And what's your first thing you do?
Oh,
run to Ninja's channel and see if he's posting. Right. I want to hear where he's talking about John OG calling him the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
It drives traffic to his channel.
Yeah, that's all. It doesn't matter as long all eyes are good eyes. You want eyes on.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought. It's a what if.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, and then his contract showed that he got paid $60,000 to promote a company. Mm-hmm. Well, is that dishonest? I mean, we know lots of people that put their contracts out there, including just about every NFL player. Yeah. Clearly, all the NBA or most of the NBA now we're finding out. Lots of crypto people that you guys watch. I mean, Ben, what's his name? The first Ben. Armstrong. Yeah. He was very honest about, hey, these are my contracts.
This is how much it is.
A lot of these people that go on CNBC and Fox and all that, they have agents that manage them, and they have contracts. whether it's with a crypto company or the news or whatever, and they have contracts and they get paid to, it's their job. And I don't know that that's a bad thing, as long as they disclose, like, they're supposed to disclose that they're getting paid, or this is a paid advertisement, whatever, so I don't know that was, I don't know. I just have
Yeah, I
some
mean, it is what it is. It's a contract. You got paid for a service. You provided the service, so it's up to you what you decide, determine
Mhm.
about it.
I think this is where, like, no one's
There's
coming to
legal and there's ethical.
Yeah. No one's coming to save you. We all have to be, that's where, like, I go back to, like, my mantra of, we all have to take personal responsibility for our wealth, our health, our personal safety, and our finances, and all the things, so this is where critical thinking is so important. And I have myself have fallen and suffered for, well, it's my friend's friend, and my friend would never introduce me to someone to do business with someone that would be untrustworthy. Not you.
I know.
But instead of doing my own due diligence, and I did some due diligence, don't get me wrong, but I also was like, oh, but it's my friend's friend.
Yeah, so you waive a little bit of the due diligence, because if Lisa, you came to me and you said, "Hey, I'm really good friend, and this is, I've been doing this with this person," I'd be like, "Okay, okay, part of the homework's already done at that point." And so, yeah, you do your research, but you're probably not going in depth and being as skeptical as you normally would be, because it's like, well,
Yeah.
trust you, so. Yeah, so you're right, though. Always you look into everybody, because as we've seen, you never know. You know, people do crazy stuff. I mean,
Sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah. And then part of that is a learning curve and an
yeah.
education. And then you have to, then,
You got to eat it.
I took action and went to hold them accountable. And our judicial system is shit. And,
Yep.
there may be another day, and we can move forward with that as well. I still hold out hope for justice in that way as well. But then there's also, when in that same light, when you see people that you did, that you trusted, that you said, wait a minute, I trusted them and they were friends with that person, and why did they pull away from that person?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but this sounds too good to be true, but well, they're not hanging out with them anymore, but I'm going to go ahead and go do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can always call or, check into it. So it is kind of a trust your gut kind of thing. But this is part of the taking personal responsibility kind of thing,
Yeah.
That's where we're all in this, because that's where we have to stop being, victims of the system and all of that.
Right.
And that's why community is so important.
It is.
And we're here for each other.
Right. You're looking out for each other through different lenses. You're seeing it from different angles, different perspectives. And, if you've got one thing, you can tell a person a lot of times by who hangs out with that person, or also who doesn't hang out with that person.
Well,
some
or it
people
could
don't
be
align themselves with certain people for a reason. And, that's interesting, especially if they used to and now they don't. Yeah.
Right. It could be for a time, and, things change, and all those things. And then if you have a question, like, ask, especially if you have access to those people, so
that's community. Bounce it off each other, get everybody's perspective. What do you think? What do you think about this? New person comes to Westwood for the first time. Well, what do you think about this person? You know, little grapevine poll goes out. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you think? You know, is this person coming back or not? You know, because if consensus says, I'm not feeling it. Okay.
But also, if they didn't necessarily do something criminal, wrong or bad,
Sometimes
it's just a feeling, then,
it's just the
well,
vibe's wrong.
it's not, you don't want to go out and spread rumors about somebody if there's nothing. You don't want to go start talking crap on somebody if there wasn't actually an action taken, wrong or bad. Is just, hey, do you want to come, run through the field over here with me? No, thanks. Well, I don't have to go tell everybody they wanted me to run through the field with them. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't find that beneficial in any way, but I don't need to go tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just kind of all different things, but it's kind of interesting to kind of go through this with everybody.
Yeah, it seems like every crypto cycle, there's always a watershed moment almost. It's just like something happens, and it's we had what Celsius and all kinds of different things last time, and
That was
you see
terrible. Yeah.
you see certain people that get called out. I mean, we had remember our Satoshi guy, from I don't know, Germany, Austria, wherever he was from. I mean, you see a lot of call outs on different things come out, and I mean, it reminds me of the Johnny Cash song. You can run along for a long time. Sooner or later, God will cut you down. And that happens, And so it's not necessarily our job to do that because we don't know all the facts. We don't have all the information. Something seems a little off, but, to go out and cast aspersions at someone when you really don't know, it's sometimes better to stay on the sidelines. It'll work itself out eventually. I mean, it will.
But that's where it's just really important to do a lot of, when you're making your own decisions, do a lot of critical thinking.
Yeah.
Ask questions, be very cautious. Yeah.
Trust your gut, because if it feels wrong and you've got any doubt, it's usually something's not right, and then ask people, bounce it off people you trust, and that who and just kind of come to a conclusion in that way, I guess. Use your resources. I mean, community especially, use those resources and ask. A lot of people have good information.
Yeah.
Good feelings.
And one of the best pieces of advice a friend told me was, like, if someone's ever trying to rush you to make a decision, like, oh, you're going to miss out, or
act now.
Yes. Then,
limited spots available.
Right. If the deal's not going to still be there, then that's not the deal for you.
Right.
Because then it's not something that's lasting. It's not something that's sustainable. That's not the deal for you.
Wait a minute. You mean tomorrow this timeshare deal is not going to be available? I have to act now?
Right.
Right.
If it's rushed, if you're forced into, rushed to make a decision, then that's just not, that's one of the biggest flags for it just not being the deal for you. So anyway, I just want everybody to be careful.
Well, there's no rush with that thing over there. I can tell you that.
Yeah, but that's the best part of it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I love it, because it's, not rushed into it. You got to make your own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It's on sale. Just saying. It's always on sale.
Until it isn't. If you compare this run up right now with gold, with silver, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And people are now like, people that got in when, we were joking around. Do you remember when every year silver was $25?
Yeah. Well, it closed at $25 again.
And now,
might 30.
I think somebody in the chat said it hit over 103.
It was over $100. Yeah, over $100 today. Triple digits.
So some people are like, oh my gosh, if you were buying silver at a $25, it's really hard to go buy.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to buy any. I wouldn't want to buy any right now, just because. I mean, it's like, because I bought some under $20. I mean, I bought it in the single digits, and so it's hard to look at it now and say I want to get 1 ounce for $100.
But if it's going to be 600, like,
Well, right, and that's it. I mean, so you 6x. So if you
it,
bought it at 25, you 4x'd. If it goes from $100 to 400 at 4x's, it's just hard to, having bought it at that time for people to, but a lot of people don't have it. They don't have any.
but now
So,
apply the opportunity that you
right.
see with Litecoin.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Way undervalued digital asset.
It's still undervalued.
Stupid cheap. So,
The people that have the opportunities to create generational wealth are the people that see the opportunity
yes,
when there's blood in the streets.
Right. They see the fundamentals, they see the value, and they say, why does no one want this? It's like silver. Why does no one want to buy this at $20?
Mm-hmm.
This is stupid. Buy it. And you don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know how long it takes for markets to become rational. And they can be irrational longer than you can stay solvent. I mean, it's just, that's the way it is. But if you know, and the fundamentals, then it's just, okay, it's a long-term game. I don't know when it ends. We know it's going to end. We know it's going to break, just like silver. I knew that was like my most firm conviction I've ever had buying silver. I mean, I had no doubts, none, never had a doubt. I mean, it was just like, just buy more, just get more, get more, get more, because I was so firm in my conviction. I knew what it was. I knew the fundamentals of it, and I knew it was way undervalued. 120 to 1 gold to silver ratio. Give me a break. Absolutely ridiculously undervalued for so long. And I knew that. And so I never felt bad about it, buying it, because I knew at some point it would become rational. I mean, the markets would catch up. The markets would understand the real value of it. And so look for those things that are undervalued that you can find, look at the fundamentals and realize, well, this is stupid. This thing works. I mean, running for over 14 years, privacy. I mean, finite supply. Why is it not more money compared to these other things that don't have nearly the amount of, money being used with it? And so that's Litecoin's my other conviction. Always has been. It's just, what's the time frame? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's on sale. Take advantage of it. Blue light special right there.
There you go. Such a deal. I think it's only it's only 80 something dollars.
Litecoin right now is like under $70. It's like
under 70,
68, $69.
Oh, stop it.
No, I'm serious. Somebody in the chat. What is it? Litecoin right now.
Come on, man.
I know. I'm telling you, as cold as it is, I'm almost ready to get out on the street for Litecoin.
Oh my goodness.
I'll take this off for Litecoin.
Oh, stop it. Keep it low. 69. Oh Lord, don't tell us.
Especially, yeah. What a price.
Okay. Thank you, Gazoo.
I'm the salacious skullcat.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Benny. 67. Well, Mark's just being on right. Yeah.
It probably went down to 67 actually.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Even the dogs love Litecoin.
Even the dogs love Litecoin.
Only a dog loves Litecoin.
Oh man. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Crazy. It's just that's what I'm saying. It's just like looking at silver at $20.
Yeah. I also listened to Jared Tate had a great, he spent like a month preparing for this presentation. Much respect and a great shout out to him for sticking with his project. A lot of people give him a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm. But we're talking about Digibyte, right?
Digibyte, Jared Tate. Yeah. My
other favorite.
I had to drive to take Canon, and then he was sick, and I had a very rough week. But I had a lot of time in the car, and so I listened to the recording a couple times, and I think I understand the Digibyte dollar. I think it is like fractional reserve lending for we the people in our own possession.
I don't know.
Is that a very simplified way of thinking?
Maybe I'm trying to get my head around it. But it's pegged to the dollar. It's a dollar stable coin.
But I don't think it's pegged to the dollar.
I think it is pegged to the
I
dollar.
don't
Ask
think it
Blind
is.
Dave. Get Blind Dave on the phone.
I don't
Um,
think it's pegged to the dollar at all.
I think it's dollar. I think it is because I think I asked
No,
this question one time, but I
no.
could be
And I
wrong.
think that is a strength of it that it's not.
I don't know. Well, the strength of it is that I mean you can only create a digidollar by having the digibyte asset in your possession, and that
That's the
gets
part I
locked
like.
up. Right, it
It's
gets locked up and
useful.
can't be used. So it's off the market as long as you've minted digidollars out of the digibyte asset.
Yes.
So then you can spend the digidollars like dollars. Like that's why I think it's pegged. But anyway, it's that
And
digidollar
I don't know where you
can't.
can spend the Digibyte dollars. That's the
Well,
part.
that's the next question. You know, where is that? Where does that have liquidity? Where can you buy
Yeah.
something with that?
And I don't know that that's active right now, which may be why I couldn't find that
It's
answer.
on. I think it's on the test net, and I think it gets released maybe by the end of February.
Oh, so it's not active yet.
Live.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I
yeah,
couldn't find that answer.
yeah.
But then I there were concerns about like a whale coming in
Mhm.
and buying up a bunch of Digibyte, and then people couldn't get their own, like, I guess manipulating the market so much that you couldn't afford to get your Digibyte back off.
You know, I guess. Well, if a yeah,
So
it just depends.
Jared's going to do another one. So
Okay.
I would like to follow it. I'm interested, I guess. I know enough to be dangerous that I'm interested
Oh
because
yeah.
basically it was when I broke it down in my mind, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is like fractional reserve banking for we the people in our possession.
I mean, maybe in a way, but what happens is, I mean, you can mint the digi dollars, but you have to have the digibyte to back it up, and I think it's a
Yeah.
little collateralized though. So, like, if you want to mint one digi dollar and say it's worth a dollar, you have to have like $3 in digibyte to back it up.
Yeah.
And what happens is, though, I mean, the more digi dollars that are out there, the less digibyte that's in circulation because it's frozen and locked
That's what
up,
I'm saying.
which
It's the
makes it more
reverse.
scarce.
It's the reverse of what the Federal Reserve has been
Okay,
loaning out,
I got you.
or the central banks have been loaning out,
Mhm.
10x to every
Yeah, no, no, I
one.
get where you're coming from.
See
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of the reverse.
I mean, I like the concept of it and I like how the mechanism works. And I can see a pinch at some point where there's a demand for Digibyte. That because it dries up liquidity. Now there's 21 billion that are going to exist, so 1,000 times more than Bitcoin. Um,
And he
and
got that from Satoshi, um,
yeah,
which I thought was interesting.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, if you start locking that stuff up and taking it off the market, it makes it more scarce, and that'll drive the price of the digibyte asset up. I don't know. It's just a lot of dynamics can come into play. I mean, the more use, the better, in my opinion, on these cryptocurrencies. The more these things are used in whatever ways they're used, the proof of work ones, the better off it is. Because that's what you want. It needs to be used. I mean, for something, whether it be to store NFTs or store books or store, whatever, or create contracts and store them or use it as a stable coin,
well,
whatever,
because
use it as money.
we were struggling
All
with,
good.
Mom and I were talking about, at one point, you'll be able to take, it's kind of the answer to the Celsius crisis.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, you would be able to take your silver in and have them hold it. And then
Hmm.
as silver appreciates, you could take a loan against it and it pays itself off,
Hmm.
basically. Well, that's in theory, that's what the digidollar is saying if prices of Digibyte go up.
Hmm.
Now, they do have the whole, Celsius crisis scenario of if it goes down too much, then, where do they make the call that you have to come in with a, you know,
Well, with Digibyte, the thing is you can't get liquidated with the DigiDollar because
because you're holding it.
you're holding it. It's just that to unlock your Digibyte that you use to create the dollar, let's say you buy it's Digibytes a dollar and it's 1 to 1. Um, And then Digibyte, like crypto is apt to do, drops 90%. Now it's worth 10 cents. And so you're like, crap, how do I unlock my Digibyte now? Because I'm going to, I'm underwater, but it's like, you don't have to. I mean, the Digi dollars can still stay in circulation. You're not going to have a margin call or anything like that. It's just that you'll unlock it whenever you want to unlock it, or you just got your Digi dollars. I mean, and so
Or you
it's,
just never unlock your
or you just never
Digibyte.
unlock it, and that just benefits everybody because it's frozen. It's just like you lost the Digibyte, let's say, just like people have lost, Bitcoin on wallets. It just makes the rest of
Because
it
you had
scarce.
to collateralize 3-to-1.
Right.
You just
You've
took that.
over collateralized. And so now that stuff's locked up. And so that's less on the market. So it benefits the rest of the community at that point. And then there are methods to where somebody may come in and say, oh, well, I'll unlock it for you and give you X amount on the dollar for it and take your contract, and then they'll unlock it. So there's different ways that you can do that. There's a secondary market at that point, and which is good for, in my opinion, because the more use that it has, the more robust that network and robust that coin becomes, because you got more people using it for different things.
Yeah,
But
and
it's
it
all
doesn't have,
legit though, because it's based on Digibyte and the Digibyte blockchain, which has been running for what, 2014, well, 12 years nonstop.
and it doesn't have to be the same Digibyte dollar that was created from
No
those
fungibility as far as,
Digibyte.
well, it is
Yeah,
fungible. I
it
guess at
could
that
be
point it's interchangeable. Yeah.
interchangeable
That's
to,
what fungibility means, folks, kids. Interchangeable, fungible.
it's fun to be
It's fun to be
interchangeable.
interchangeable.
Yes.
In a
Yeah.
new arm, put a new one.
So that was interesting. I like to learn new things. So that was interesting.
No, it's an
But
interesting thing, and I can't. It's digibyte.io maybe, or I can't. Dave would know.
I don't know. Blind Dave sent it to me. So
I never remember the
go
link,
follow
but it's got
him
all the.
on Hawkeye on X, or Hawkeye 3, I think he is on X. I don't know. I'm following him on Twitter, so go find him on my followers, and or go watch his channel on
Blind
YouTube.
Dave Crypto on
Dave
YouTube.
Crypto on YouTube. Yeah.
I've got a link to it on clintwestwood.net.
Okay.
All the community resources and all these wonderful, beautiful people with all this wonderful information. Go there and check community resources, and you can find Blind Dave's channel. Click through, subscribe.
Yes, and follow Jared Tate on X, and his videos right there, and he did a really great job. So that was good. Yeah.
I love Digibyte. I love Litecoin. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Both on sale. Blue light specials.
Blue light specials. Okay. So into the storm we go. I had so much fun with this last night.
You love this stuff.
I love this stuff.
I know. This is in your wheelhouse.
I can't tell you.
Swing away, lovely Litecoin Lisa.
So I don't even know where to start. Where to begin?
Oh, you're talking about ferns.
I know.
I got trees and all this stuff.
I know. And Heidi and I are texting. So her grandmother's name is Fern. It was so sweet. So I've been having these thoughts about Groundhog Day for, I don't know, a couple years now. And then, of course, Elon goes and has this video.
Hey, see this little guy right here?
Yeah, I see that little critter. Looks like a groundhog, or maybe a prairie dog peeking out. Pretty cool spot by the water, too.
Watch the water, first of all, about 10 days from now. And this is a groundhog. And Groundhog Day is in about 10 days. Okay. So if I go, I'll just try to go through my stream. Also, Melania posts her countdown 10 days, which was actually 9 days from her countdown, and for her movie. So she's like calming to everything. The storm that's coming in this weekend is called Fern. You can't make this up. What is a fern?
A Federal Reserve note.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wait for it.
AKA dirty fiat, also a US dollar bill made by the Federal Reserve. Paper money. You guys know what that is.
Which is not federal and has no reserves.
That's right. So also the end of Oz, all this. Okay. Then you see this map, which is the map that we're all seeing, whatever. Okay. Oh, it even gets better.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Okay. This was hilarious. Jamie Dimon of all
that makes society work better for everybody. And
would you raise taxes to pay for that?
I don't think you'd have to. I think it would drive a lot of growth. I think I did the numbers at one point, it'd be $60 billion of spending. I think it would probably create more than that of growth and taxes. And if you have to raise taxes a little bit, that's fine. But again, I don't want to buy your argument. I don't know anyone, okay, and you guys in the room, you might be Democrats, Republicans, who thinks the spending that sending another $1 trillion to Washington, D.C. will actually improve anything. So when you say raise taxes, if you said raise taxes and directly give it to the people who need it, I'd do it. No,
so we are running out of time.
It goes to all these interest groups, and they give it to their friends and all that, and which is why
he says they give it to their friends. It doesn't go to the people; they give it to their friends.
We are running out of time.
It goes to all these interest groups, and they give it to their friends and all that, and which is why the people are considered a swamp. It's kind of a swamp. There's 17,000 lobbying groups. Bankers are guilty too.
How many? 17,000 lobbying groups? Okay.
We're running out of time. You need to get off stage. This is not the narrative we were expecting from you.
Yeah. Quit talking about all that. Hold on. Let's see. Then, okay. Oh, I have so much more. Then.
You must be running for president.
Okay, we all saw that. Everyone perfectly executed. This was today. When he just said that they were all, we know they give it to their friends, whatever. This is the National Guard today gathering at DC at Delaware and K Street. So I don't know if they were going to give some people a ride. It'd be interesting to see if they were going to give a ride.
They moving up.
Why you didn't get the band?
They just came up right there.
Tons of those little cargo vans.
All of them got guns. Y'all can say what y'all want. They last one of them got guns. They still coming from the cut.
Might be giving somebody a ride. Who knows? We can hope. That's old news.
Ice baby.
Ice baby. This was released, which it'll start in Georgia. I think we've known about this for a while, but the none of the 315 early votes were signed in 2020.
Fulton County. Did you said in the early voting election print out, how many total were there supposed to be, and how many did they print out?
For early voting, they provided 137 unsigned closing tapes and 0 signed or unsigned opening tapes.
Okay. But it's just a clerical error, someone would like to say. And my point is this. I want to talk about the clerical errors that happened at the beginning of the day. If you don't know that you start with 0, how do you know that you end with 315,000 or whatever number you want to come up with? Right. How do you know that?
Right.
Now, if the press is in here, I'm giving you some news because nobody's reporting it. Nobody's talking about it. You want to talk about T-shirts of people that wear at a campaign or a polling site, or you want to talk about a hiring process that you don't like that I did, or one of our employees that I hired. This is news.
Yep.
This is what Georgia needs to hear about. This is what the state of Georgia's citizens care about when it comes to elections.
It's hard to watch because he's so slow.
I want to ask another question there was 0 of those 148 starting tapes printed, right?
Right, correct.
I'm astounded. Is the Fulton County attorney still here? I hope you're hearing what we're saying. And I don't mean this to be personal, but I'm not worth 2 cents if I'm not astounded about this.
It's because
if I'm not overwhelmed about this, because I personally am. And I hope you hear it in my voice and see it in my face. Georgia deserves better than this.
Anyway, he's hard to watch. Okay, back to the storm. Where's the part with Russia? Hold on. Okay, snowed in, Russia. It's almost time. This was another one where they were talking about the comparison. Oh, this was funny. Trump enjoy the exhibit.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for visiting the Freedom Truck Mobile Museum, a special exhibition celebrating 250 years of glorious American independence. On July 4th, 1776, 56 patriots pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to the cause of American liberty and independence. Incredible people they were. From that moment on, the United States of America became the greatest force for freedom, justice, equality, and prosperity in the history of the world. From the flame it lit in Philadelphia, a burning torch has been passed down from one generation to the next. From the soldiers who crossed the Delaware on Christmas Eve of 1776, to the heroes of Normandy and the astronauts who planted our great American flag on the moon, the cause of freedom enshrined in the Declaration of Independence has inspired every era of American heroes to reach further and aim higher. I want to thank PragerU for helping us share this incredible story. And thanks to all of you for visiting. I hope you will join me in helping to make America's 250th anniversary a year we will never forget. Enjoy the exhibit and God bless America.
To enjoy the exhibit. A lot of people think that's what this weekend storm is going to be. Oh, they took this one off.
Exhibit A.
Oh, good call, Westwood. I love it when you play with me on this stuff. Okay. Enjoy the exhibit. Yeah. And they had all of that testimony with Jack Smith and that he said he never was sworn in. And that he never had a case against Trump. All of that kind of played out this week. Also, the Clintons, of course, never showed up. And then they went ahead and had the hearing and they laid out the evidence against them anyway. That was really interesting. That kind of all played out this weekend. And they voted to hold them in contempt. So their arrests could be coming anytime. Where is that? Oh, Melania is going to be ringing the bell next Wednesday, which, the thing with the bells and anti-demon kind of stuff. So I don't know what, but
with a hammer.
With the hammer, that's right. With the hammer, that lines up with, if you watched Joni Patri's astrology for next week, that's about bringing out, revealing the truth and all this kind of stuff for next Wednesday.
Well, bring it on. I'm all about it.
Yeah. And then, of course, DARPA and all that admitted to having directed energy weapons. Where is the thing about I know we just had the thing about the Russia thing. Maybe I didn't refresh this. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. There's a picture. I thought I shared it. where they show, it's on Dan Scavino's thing. Maybe I put it in Telegram. Where he has Dan Scavino. Well, I'll try to pull up Dan Scavino's thing. He shows like the storm map. And then if you look at the map of Russia and then how they put like their flag over it, it's like exactly the same shape as Russia. And the expected stormfall. And so some people are saying like, what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to get some kind of, because it's something about the comparison of snowed in today, how's Russia almost time, TikTok. It's from that Q post. Let me see if I can find it.
Hey, there was an earthquake in Illinois this week.
Was there really?
Yeah, it was like a 4.0, I think. Southern Illinois.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's this one. Does this make sense to you or tie things together for you? So this was Dan Scavino's post was tying key messages for the major January winter storm.
Oh, okay.
And it said high impact, far reaching winter storm, heavy, wide snow, catastrophic ice accumulation. I'm so excited. I can hardly talk. Okay. Extended impacts in the wake of the storm. Communities from southern plains and northeast will contend with bitterly cold temperatures, dangerously cold wind chills. This will prolong hazardous travel. They keep talking about travel. And like Governor Stitt from Oklahoma was telling people stay off the roads, and that we're going to have the Department of Travel or something about travel, and that they had extra vehicles for transport. And people on the roads, and that was strange. And then they said the line of ice. There was a line of ice across southeastern Oklahoma, which I thought was a strange way of wording that. But then people were like, "Oh, look, that's the same shape as the Russian flag." Which that then lined up with the Q post is where people were kind of tying that in, the storm, and this Q post, which lined up with today, January, the Delta is at January 23rd. How's Russia almost time? Snowed in. How's Russia almost time? And someone else was saying that there would be text leaked about possibly taking out from another country, text leak from another country, taking out a president. So I don't know if they're going to be like, if Russia's going to leak the assassination attempt of Trump or something, because, no one would believe. If it was the Dems leaking it, no one's going to believe that.
Yeah, all right.
If it's but if it's Russia doing it or China doing it, maybe they would believe it. I don't know. Of course, it's getting late. It's 6:30 here.
Phone service outages. Anybody have cell phone service outages and issues this week?
I haven't, but.
Okay. All right, just curious. I know I did. I think Verizon might have a little bit. I noticed it.
I thought Verizon did last week, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Wednesday, I noticed a lot of issues.
Okay.
Curious.
I know there were some updates on X. If you didn't update your app, then you couldn't post. But once you updated your app, then you could. And Elon was posting, they were telling a lot of people, hey, don't forget, if there's outages, you can always use your satellite service if you have a 14 or newer iPhone, which we've been telling people that for quite a while.
It's your Starlink.
Yeah, your Starlink.
I see deals all the time. They're making it very affordable. Tempting to hook it up. Maybe I should.
It just seems too convenient. Oh, they're going to try to kick me out again. Oh, shit. go back to this one.
It's 48 degrees in here.
Smoking.
Smoking hot.
So, oh man, just so much good stuff going on.
What's that one? Silver price? Yeah, crazy. 3 digits.
We are here.
Get your nickels. 7 cents each. You can buy them for 5 cents on sale at the bank. 7 cents a metal. Just saying.
No. It's good stuff. Yeah, the conspiracy theories are coming true. They, all the things are happening. Silver's going through the roof. Like, it just can't get good enough.
Yeah, it's slingshotting. Crazy.
Yes.
Man.
There's more about. Oh, here's somebody talking about that it might be tied to unleashing the nuclear energy, the countdown, because the Office of Nuclear Energy also kind of chimed in. And that might be some of the new technology being released too. So that would be interesting.
I was looking at the chat. Everybody's talking about cornbread and butter. Sounds good right now. It's a little chilly.
Oh, I made chili earlier.
Mom, oh, you made chili?
I
made
did.
Chili earlier this week, and I finished it yesterday, and I saved some in the freezer. So, but you made chili today, huh?
I made chili before, while I was watching Rice and Kenny. And and then Mom was making
beef chili. What was your meat?
Yeah,
beef. Yeah.
Beef. Yeah. Yes.
Nice. What do you like to put in your chili besides beans and sauce and beef?
People are tomatoes and onion and spices and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Secret things I can't tell you.
All right. Ancient Oklahoma secret.
A little beer.
Ancient Arkansas secret.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A little stout beer in it.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Board of Peace?
The Board of Peace. Yes. I remember the Board of Education. It had holes in it, and it came swinging at you when you're in school. The Board of Peace sounds much better.
The Board of Peace.
I'm not familiar with it yet.
I feel like he established that a while ago.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Didn't I read that? How old is that? Because I know I read
he did it in his first presidency, but they're just now talking about it. And then what was funny was they said, what did I read? Something about like there's actually 91 countries on it, but only 19 people came to the photo.
Oh, it's just reversed.
Yeah.
They're all dyslexic.
Yeah. Of course, that's all of that,
think mirror.
Yeah, think mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
All the symbolism, all that. Record numbers all over the place. Oh, record numbers, not record numbers. Or record numbers. Record the numbers all over the place. Should I try for a 4th term? Oh, wow.
He trolls so hard, and people
love it.
I mean, and they're just like, oh, he can't do that. Why is he saying 4th term?
I love it. I love it. I love the TDS. May you all have TDS and have sleepless nights. I don't care anymore.
That is funny. People get so triggered.
Yeah. As long as the babies are being saved, I really don't care. I don't care how much it upsets you. Yeah, this was the picture that I thought was great for maybe Melania is going to bring the hammer when she gets to swing the hammer on the 28th. So
Yeah, that goes back to the painting of Santa with a hammer that was a Q post. I mean, I don't remember what year it was, around Christmas time.
It was
And
like
I think,
2020 or
yeah,
2019. I
I
don't
think it
remember.
was a picture of Santa holding a hammer in an elevator. It was hanging in an elevator, I think, at the Trump
At
Hotel in
Trump Tower.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in
Oh,
Chicago,
was it
the
Chicago?
Trump
Okay.
Hotel. I think somebody can fact check me, but it
Okay.
was one of the Trump buildings. I think it
Yeah.
was the Chicago one.
That's perfect with her little pinstripes. How very gangster of her.
It ties into Chicago
It
very well, right?
Yep. That's perfect. Yeah.
Definitely.
Perfect. This was interesting. I don't know if this is true or if this is like a lady trying to get attention. But this was where, like, okay, if this is what's really happening, but this lady is going, let me see if this is right. She's headed south from Oklahoma to Texas, and she's saying that the roads are, all the exits are blocked coming north for like 20 miles.
Okay.
And that there's like black Fed cars on all the exits, and that they are then diverting everyone to like a trucker way station and forcing even civilian cars to then exit everyone, and that it's like ICE.
Over the Oklahoma into Texas border, coming out of Oklahoma into Texas. We just passed, we're in the middle of passing exit 472 for Ganser Road on 35 South. When we left Oklahoma for our route down, Google Maps said that there was a snowstorm in effect that had the freeway shut down. I am posting this because when we got up to the area of the freeway that was shut down, there are federal authorities taking every single vehicle that is on the freeway, diverting them onto the road that runs alongside the freeway into the way station, including every civilian vehicle. That way station is a commercial way station, and you would only drive through it in a civilian vehicle if you had livestock that needed to be inspected, agricultural produce that needed to be inspected. There's black SUVs at every exit on every side, and the freeway itself has every entrance to the freeway for 35 North going from Texas into Oklahoma for that 18, which is now turning into 24, blocked off with federal vehicles to then funnel going up into Oklahoma into that way station. The freeway itself does not have a car accident, it does not have a road hazard, and it does not have a construction zone within 10 miles of it ongoing at all. So there's no snowstorm, there's no reason for the freeway to be shut down, there's no road hazard, there's no ongoing investigation or reason that the road should be the way it is. And they're funneling every vehicle into that way station and either waving them through or pulling them over. It's just now clearing up, and we are on mile 26. So the cars sitting in that line for those 26 miles are waiting to be inspected through a federal checkpoint. Share this around.
This is interesting.
It's not a snowstorm, it's an ice storm.
It's an ice storm. Yeah. So
well, that's one way to cut obesity in America. Take them to the way station and clear them out. Yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, this was where I saw it. What would happen if texts originating from FBI agents discussed assassination of POTUS or a member of his family, suggest from foreign allies were involved, forget Russia's setup. It's only the beginning. Be careful what you wish for. As the world turns, could messages such as those be publicly disclosed? What happens to the FBI? What happens to DOJ? What happens to special counsel? What happens in general? Every FBI, DOJ previous case could be challenged. Lawless, think logically. We haven't started the drops, RE, human trafficking, sacrifices, yet worse. These good who know can't sleep. Those good who know can't find peace. Those good who know will not rest until those responsible are held accountable. Nobody can possibly imagine pure evil and corruption out there. Those you trust are the most guilty, who are taught to trust. If you're religious, pray. 60% must remain private, at least for humanity. these people should be hanging. This was the other thing that was very interesting. So they're talking about Maduro, all this. Where's the pictures of happy anniversary to the Trumps? Where is it? Little Miss Scavino. So we know Dan posted that about Russia and all that. Little Miss Scavino, and we know that Trump said, you know, I can't remember how he said it exactly, but basically like they were executed perfectly or something like that.
Yeah, it was executed perfectly. They're executed perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfect operation, executed perfectly.
Yeah. Then there's an interview with Dan and his wife. Oh, this was hilarious. Bald eagle spotted posing for Minnesota fake cameras. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Go watch Aaron Day. Follow him. He's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing guy.
Great info.
Great information.
True freedom warrior.
Aaron R. Day. Yeah. But she almost made Dan a little uncomfortable. Where is it? 10 Commandments. It's coming up. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Sorry, guys. Here it is. Here it is.
64. This isn't a new thing by President Kennedy. So it's always been a political position. It's always been someone that's president appointed. And just like he's done with the performing arts at the Kennedy Center, he wanted to make sure that I was here to make sure that our visual arts were not woke. We're not dominated by people that had a leftist ideology. And it's funny. I am a little bit of a undercover person in the State Department that can get people out through art. Shockingly, I had I'll shout her out. Anna Paulina Luna was in Romania and she called me, said, "Hey girl," she said, "I'm in Romania." I said, "That's nice. What's going on?" I was just at the ambassador of Romania's residence and there is satanic baby art in the residence. So within 15 minutes, I'm on the phone with Marco's team, not only having the art removed from art embassies, the art removed from the State Department, out of everything. And that ambassador, she's no longer with us. So it's like a good way to learn things. There was an ambassador to a Latin American country that wanted very fine people Charlottesville art. He's no longer with us either. I mean, he's with us in the
I
world.
gotta be
He's
really,
no longer with
really.
the state.
See how uncomfortable he is?
I gotta, by not long with this, I gotta
They're no longer with us. Yeah. No longer.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
I can secretly I'm kind of secret for the State Department.
Yeah. All right.
He's like, "Girl, you're not supposed to say that."
Why are you talking about all the secrets?
Shut up. Shut up. I know you're cute, but you're supposed to be quiet about that.
Should make for some interesting pillow talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, but you're seeing, that's kind of right along the lines with what Trump was saying.
Which that's an interesting thing because you think of the other side of that coin. Speaking of silver, the other side of that coin is what is art used for in the bad way. Because she referred to the paintings and that kind of thing, but think of you look at the Podesta art, and then you think of the trafficking that goes along with art, in and out of smuggling, in and out of the country, and drugs even. What can art be used for? Because if you can get things out for good with art, well, things were going badly depending on who's in charge using the art networks and the art galleries and dealerships and that transfer of goods. It's nice to see. It sounds like someone kind of there cleaning things up, maybe, because he obviously knows about these back channels.
Mm-hmm. Well, supposedly that Marina Abramovich or whatever was performing, or at least her signs were up at Davos this last week. Of course, I don't know what we were seeing and what was AI and what was real or not. But that was another thing.
Spirit cooker.
Yes, she's way evil. Trump just did a advertisement for oh gosh, maybe somebody in the chat knows, for like some, maybe the Department of Ag or for something, but they disclosed that it was AI. And they were like, yeah, you can kind of tell in his voice a little bit. And then the news stations were talking about, but that's not the first Trump to use AI to replicate their voice. That Melania's upcoming movie, she actually uses AI for her voiceover so that her language is more smooth.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's not some soft disclosure to people to be like, hey, and guess what? A lot of these people, the last 10 years that you thought you've been seeing have been AI.
Well, they were using AI in 2016 when Hillary was running. I remember she had one campaign rally where you could see, I mean, it could have been just graphic manipulation, but I mean, everybody in the audience, it's like when you see a collage of something, or you see a big shot of something and they just take, that segment and they just repeat it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And you can see, it's like, oh, wait a minute. It's like find Waldo 10 times, and you can see the same, oh, wait, it's the same group of people, same group of people, same group of people in the image, in the picture. So, I mean, who knows what's real?
There were several of Trump's rallies where, one time I saw a friend of ours in the back of one, and I was like, oh, and I messaged him. I was like, oh, cool, so cool, I saw you, blah, blah, blah. And I was super excited. Then as the time went on, especially the really long ones, the people would get to be different sizes. And
I remember. Yeah, it's like, wait a minute.
And stuff, and I was like,
people out, and people are different. And it's like,
that's where I'm like, Lisa, put the Tito's down and go to bed. Like that, something is wrong. The people in the background were like, whoa. And I was like, and then I was like, those people are not really there. It's like when Biden was at that military graduation and he runs and falls or whatever.
Right.
When an old person falls in front of you, people go, oh,
right.
Or you have a response. You don't just, no one moved, no one looked, no one even, responded.
Right. Kind of like the Biden inauguration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of the same responses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's,
I mean, who knows what's real? I mean, honestly, you really don't know what's real. There's been so many idiosyncrasies, over the past several years that it's hard to say.
Well, Trump also said that in his speech after, I think it was after Davos at a press conference, or maybe it was in the plane or something. And he said this wasn't a 1 year effort. It was a 10-year effort.
Yeah.
And so if we realize and think about when Hillary was arrested, a lot of people understand that was her getting arrested, going into that van when her shoe fell off and she collapsed and they had her hands behind her back and all that.
Dragging her in, just like slam her in.
That was September 2016.
Was it 16?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes. Dude, I've watched the video many times.
I know it was September 11th. It was at the September 11th ceremony, right?
Yeah, it was 2016. September 2016.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking 19 in my head. I don't know.
Was it?
I could be wrong. That's what's in my head. 2019.
Does anybody know in the chat?
Could be wrong.
I could always be wrong. I've been wrong many times.
Was it during COVID? It was probably before COVID. So I'm thinking 2019. I don't know though.
Because 2016 is when they thought she would win.
Right. That was the election year. That was the campaign year, 2016. Right. It just doesn't feel like that's right, though, to me.
I may be wrong.
When they were campaigning.
I could be wrong.
But I don't know. Somebody fact check it.
That's when she got arrested, was 2016. And because they thought she would always win, but I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, we could have had the Large Hadron Super Collider, alter time, too. Who knows? I mean,
yeah. If anybody knows, please put a comment and let us know. I'll have to go look it up again. In my head, that's when it was. Yeah, because it was September 11th.
Yeah, because I remember that.
Mm-hmm. And maybe I have 16 in my head because of the election.
Jim Montgomery's saying 2016.
Okay.
So maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
That's how quickly time goes. That's gonna be 10 years. I mean, really?
I know, but that's what I'm saying is, and that's where, like, even when Kai spoke, she said, thanks for supporting our family for 10 years. There's been several other mentions of 10 years, that we've been in this for 10 years.
That's great.
Can you imagine? And then now the nod to Groundhog Day from Elon again. This has been a recurring theme that I've heard and seen. And so now he's, mentioning that 10 days before. And now we're all leading up to this ice. How do you get people to prepare for being locked in their home and watching movies and testimonies for 10 days?
Well, then you think about it, if you've got a storm coming, this is what happens. This happens here locally, happens everywhere. Oh, the store shelves are empty, everybody stocks up. I mean, that's what happens. You tell them a storm's coming, and the first thing they do is panic. I have nothing in my refrigerator. Nobody has any stored
Milk,
food.
bread, and toilet
They
paper.
go to the store and clean out the shelves. So, which, I mean, at least they got food now. You've told them there's going to be a storm, and they go get food. Me, I'll stay here for a year and not leave the house. I'm fine. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm good. Take as long as you need.
Yeah. That's kind of where we are as well. So it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. And
car won't start anyway. So, there's that.
Well, hopefully we can do a Spaces via satellite if we can't communicate.
Starlink Spaces.
Yeah, Starlink to Spaces. I did have another idea. They're also really pushing around. They're talking about the census being corrected, the voter rolls being corrected, and I've been pushing about the Postal Service being used. But I also was thinking about how just recently there were some changes on X or Twitter where your handle can't be recreated. And do you remember when they outed a bunch of people for their location, and how your original location can't be changed or something like that? And that's how they outed some of the scammers or something, where you couldn't change that would be another way. Elon always wanted X to be the everything app.
Right.
Well, if your origination is America and your handle is your handle, because John O.G. A.G., the only reason this triggered me was John O.G. A.G. was pointing at, hey, one way to know it's me and not a scammer or dupe channel is to look at the handle. And I was like, he's pointing at it. They're going to bring that up. They're going to make that an issue. And then I started thinking about the location thing that was an issue a while back. And I was like, you could use that as a identification, or the X could use that as the everything app could use that as a verification for identity. Your handle that was validated or verified, and that can't be changed, especially if we find out that they're using some sort of blockchain for it, or putting it on chain. And if your location is GPS or put on blockchain, as your creation of that, so you could validate that it was a American account with this original handle name, whatever.
I mean, it's possible. It is a unique identifier.
Yeah. I don't know how that would work with age and all, but I guess you could submit documents through there. But
yeah, because when you get verified, you probably, I haven't done it, but I mean, I imagine you have to truly verify. I mean,
I don't remember.
Government issued ID or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Something. I don't remember. But that would be a lot easier than probably people going physically down to, but then, there's also the benefit of people going physically down to the post office and in person, because people were pushing back on that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we're going to have to come up with some sort of, if you're going to vote, you're going to have some sort of digital verification, I would think, because if we go to digital money, which we're going to go to, I mean, think about it. You kind of get to a point where, do you have a country? I mean, are you a citizen anywhere, or you're just a citizen of the world? Because you may just be floating and traveling and uniquely identify you wherever you go. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how all that works. But,
I guess I had a problem with that. There were people, and probably bots, but going, "Oh, you Nazi! What do you want my papers for?" and whatever,
Right.
And I'm like, okay, look, you can't say I want to be American. I want to be identified as American, and I want to say that. And I know people get triggered over the word citizen. Please relax, everyone. We're just having a conversation here. But you can't say I want to be a part of something. I want to be an American. And then say, I don't want America to have any of my identifying. How do you want them to identify you? I don't want them
how are you going to prove you're an
information.
American? I mean, you're going to get mad at somebody over here that doesn't show their license because they just walked in or show their identification. So how can you get mad if you know what I mean? You got to be able to prove who you are.
We've got to have, even if it is a private key.
Yeah, whatever it is, I mean, there has to be something
Yeah.
unique to you that you can prove that this is who I am, as opposed to just some rando that comes into the country. And I mean, you're going to want that documentation, right, to prove that that's not an American.
Right.
So you need to prove you're an American. How do you prove it?
Right. If you want to be a part of something exclusive, then you have to have some kind of identifier that makes that exclusive.
You got to get the VIP pass.
That's right.
Get
So
backstage.
that's where we kind of are. And those are the conversations that we have to have as adults and figure this out together. But yeah.
Nazi!
I was like, and the name calling thing, that's when you're losing the argument, when you revert to the name calling.
Yeah, when you have to refer to ad hominems, then that's over.
You're just not even part of the conversation at that point. You're not part of the solution. But yeah, DigiID is a possibility because once again, you hold it in your possession, but it is an identification. So that's a possibility, of course. But
that sounds good to me. Yeah, you're a racist.
Lord. Maple.
You can only be racist if you're white, right? And that all works.
I'm pretty sure that's like the new
that's how it is.
Yeah. That's the narrative, but oh man.
I'm a human racist.
Yeah.
I'm for humanity.
I like humans. Yes. I do like
the human race. I'm a human racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The human race is pretty good.
May we all win in this human racist world as we race through it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to race through it. I'm like, yeah.
Let's slow roll it. Low and slow.
Let's slow down. It's going too fast.
I know.
It's going way too fast. Yeah. Make sure that you go watch Rice's show. He and Ken did a show today, just kind of a caution to everybody, and put your own critical thinking on it, and say, like, what do you think about it? What was your experience? I don't know that anything criminal was done in my own personal, but I don't know. I didn't have the same experiences that they did. Like, they had different experiences than I did. But it was interesting because I did not know some of the things that they had experienced. But I did have some hesitations in some things that were offered to me, and that's why I did not partake of some of the things that were offered to me. So
everybody do their own research on that, and listen to all sides and kind of come to your own conclusions on with your intuition.
Yeah.
And your own experience.
Yeah. And if you don't know,
if you don't know,
people you trust to look into it or get feedback or whatever. It's always good to ask friends, their thoughts and feelings about it and kind of bounce things. And once again, if anybody pushes you or has a feeling of urgency or you're going to be left out or whatever, that's really probably not the best thing for you. So,
right.
And when you say yes to something, know what you're saying no to, because you're always saying no to something else, and know what you're saying no to. That's another great piece of advice. So,
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, Westwood, you're doing spaces tonight. You have to actually stay on there, though.
I need to stay on it. I know. Well, I've got laundry in the house I got to do. I've got to get my roast going. I've been baking cookies and bread today. I'm doing all kinds of domestic stuff.
Man.
I know. Peanut butter cookies and chocolate chip cookies and homemade bread and, the roast, the chuck roast and oxtail is going in the cooker tonight and, all that stuff.
Man, oh, man.
So, yes, I will try to be more diligent on spaces tonight instead of checking out and getting involved in things that are distracting.
Hey, give me a
I know.
A co-host so I can give somebody a mic.
I know. I got a co-host. I can make a hook. I know, right?
No, it worked out.
You need to make sure there's a co-host when I do spaces that way.
Yeah, it worked out. It was fun because Steak jumped on there and we haven't heard from him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice to talk to him. And there's just always a good group of people on there. Marky's always fun to talk to too.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. So.
When I was passing through rooms, I could hear everybody talking and that kind of look,
yeah.
Bad speaker. And I'm glad you said, "Oh, make me a co-host, you idiot."
No.
You didn't say you idiot.
I would never. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for letting me run down my rabbit hole with Fern. I think, I had that dream about Oz is dead. And to me, that's the illusion. And so to me, that's just right down this whole, the Fern.
Everybody needs to rewatch The Wizard of Oz or watch it if you haven't. And then,
And there was a Judy Garland documentary that I watched the other night. That poor girl, they drugged her and starved her.
Yeah,
and just, another person they moved from hotel to hotel to hotel. Same thing they did with Tesla. Like, there are these controllers that take these little talented beings in our world and just use them up, spit them out, and manipulate them. And it's just terrible. Like,
they vampire all their energy out of them as much as they can harvest, and then they just throw away the shell.
Yeah, it is really terrible.
It's
Thank you, Jim, for liking and sharing. Please give us a like and share the video. And thank you to our friend Data Bunker for the super chat. That was super sweet. Once again, I did reopen my Patreon at $5, and the first week it has like a free 7-day trial where you can reach out to me and contact me and stuff. The wind's starting to pick up here, so I think
storms are coming.
Yeah.
Be safe and be warm, everybody.
Everybody stay safe and warm. Nana telling everybody to fill up their bathtubs and do all the little extra things to make sure you
fill up your bathtub and put the toaster in it to get warm.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Get toasty. I don't know.
No advice here for toasting your bathtub.
Not life advice from Westwood.
That's right. All right, you guys. Take care. We love you all, and we hope you have a wonderful, cozy, safe weekend. Take care. Love you. Bye.
I don't like the government right now. You don't have to. I don't trust it.